What is going on, Stallions and Stallionettes? AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. I just made a video yesterday going over some of the different methods or workarounds for having an ultra-wide monitor if you are a streamer or YouTuber, any kind of online content creator where you do a lot of screen captures in something like OBS. Now, I'm just not willing to make those sacrifices to make my content look good on multiple platforms, so I will be returning to a traditional 16:9 wide aspect ratio monitor. We're going to get the Samsung Odyssey G5 off of that VESA mount, and what is it going to be replaced with? That is a fine question. I have a decent answer. Whoa! I really got to stop it with the old snap, crackle, and pop trick. So, this is a Pixio 32-inch 1440p 144Hz monitor. Very similar to what I was using with the Biotech monitor, except that monitor has no way of getting wall mounted. I bought every adapter on the market. Unless you want to go to your local metal shop and do some fabrication, it simply cannot be wall mounted. So, this should remedy that issue, but more importantly than that, I don't know a whole heck of a lot about Pixio. I don't think many of us do. I want to find out if this panel is actually worth the cash. Let's get it. All right, our trusty, musty, crusty unboxing knife over here. Obviously, the audio quality is not going to be quite as good. I'm not wearing any kind of a lavalier lapel microphone, and the microphone is about 3 or 4 feet away from me, so obviously it's going to sound a little hollow, a little muddy, a little tinny, but hopefully we'll fix a little bit of that during post-editing. So please do forgive the condition of the room currently. Cable management's a little bit of a mess under there and whatnot. I got some projects going on here in the gamer heaven to make it pretty sensual. So this is actually a very nice little stand. This is all aluminum. You know, and again, there are monitors out there that I have tested in the $500–600 price point that have very cheap, chintzy plastic stands. This is aluminium, as our brothers across the pond would say. Very nice. Now, we are not going to be using that stand, unfortunately, because we're going to be VESA wall mounted. You have your AC adapter here. Very nice, very nice. Packaging is just styrofoam, but it does have cutouts for all your goodies. Then you do have your plugs in here. You have your power plug as well as a display port, it looks like. Yeah, that ain't no HDMI. That's a DP. Not Dr. Pepper and not double... it's a display port. Now, both of these power cables are relatively short, so if you're trying to do some really cool cable management around your desk in a cable tray or something, which I am, of course, you might have to get some kind of an extension, to be 110% honest. Now, as for the actual monitor itself, the pièce de résistance, so to speak. So, me personally, I do like 16:9 wide ratio monitors. I have messed around with, old school 4x3 traditional monitors, and I have, of course, messed with a ton of ultra-wides as well. And for me, I just feel like when I'm video editing, when I'm gaming, and general productivity work, this just does the job for me the best, to be 110% honest. So when the monitor is powered off, it has very thin bezels, but obviously when you power it on, you will see that there is indeed a black bezel or border around the outside. That's pretty par for the course. It does have a nice anti-glare material. I have my ring light over there, and by no means is it bouncing back. I can't see my reflection in there. I see the shape of my body, but I can't make out my face or anything. So it does have a nice anti-glare coating on the front, which is great. Absolutely great, especially if you play with a brightly lit room because you're a streamer. So in addition to your plugs, cords, or cables, you do have this nice little quick start guide, and I didn't find a traditional instruction manual on there, so either it's buried in the packaging somewhere or they're cutting down on paper, which I kind of like, and this is actually very descriptive, has everything you need on it. I mean, it's a monitor. You plug the ports in, mount it to the wall or put it on the stand, and get to gaming. Now, as for physical controls on this bad boy, you do have one of my favorite methods of control on a monitor, and that would be one of these little dial wheels right here where my middle finger is. And this is great. You click in to select, and then you basically just have like a little D-pad, as opposed to having 4 separate buttons that you're always fumbling with and hitting the wrong one. So that's pretty awesome. No remote control or anything, but you wouldn't really expect that in a budget to mid-level monitor, I would say. In the bottom right here, you do have an LED light that will be your status indicator and whatnot. A little bit of Pixio branding there in the bottom. Again, don't know too much about this brand, so I'm very curious. Hold the phone. Like, literally, if you have the phone, go ahead and hold it for me, because I just dropped everything in my hands. I've been saying 144 hertz. That's if you're using busted-ass HDMI 2.0, which nobody's used since the Civil War. If you're using DP or DisplayPort as you should, 165 hertz. Nice little tribal design cut in here, very gamer-esque. Will definitely add frames per second to your game. All right, the first few things you're gonna need to do when you install a new monitor, go ahead and right-click, go to Display Settings. And if you have multiple monitors, they're most likely going to be all woppy-jawed and disoriented. So you hit identify, it'll label them in the lower left-hand corner, and then you are able to drag them exactly where you want. So for me, I have these two in vertical orientation. I don't want to be able to track off the right-hand side of the screen and then be over there. I want to have to actually go up and to the right to get over there to the television. Once you have these in the orientation or shape that you would like, go ahead and hit apply. It will be right here. The next thing you need to do is select your primary monitor, the one you're going to be gaming on, and the one that you want to have your toolbar and all of your Windows accessories, all your window controls on. So for me, that is this monitor right here. This is going to be my primary. So you're going to click on that one and then check this box that says make this my main display. That will put all of your Windows controls down here, and also whenever you launch a game or an application, it will automatically default to your primary monitor. The next thing you want to do, and this is absolutely critical because a lot of people buy a 144, 165, 240 hertz monitor and forget to actually activate the high refresh rate. So you go over here to advanced display settings, and then currently right now my refresh rate is at 60. And as you can see, I got 144, 165, 120. I'm going to go ahead and select 165. That is the maximum. Keep these display settings? Yes, keep changes. And now, as I move my mouse back and forth, I can tell even on the main menu here, even on the desktop, that my mouse is much more fluid than before. I mean, 160, that's more than double the standard with 60 hertz. Also, you do want to make sure if it's an HDR display that is displaying here. This is an SDR, standard dynamic range monitor. That's totally fine. Also, make sure that this is your native resolution. This is a 1440 monitor, so it is actually showing 1440. The next thing you want to do, let's go ahead and close this down for now, is right-click and go to NVIDIA Control Panel. Now, if you have an NVIDIA GPU, so a 20 series, maybe a 3080, you're going to have this here. And what I would recommend doing, and if you want to get a little more in depth with this, I do have a separate tutorial where I literally go through this entire control panel here, helping you guys get set up with your GPU and all of your monitors. But for now, it would be right down here in digital vibrance. You want to make sure you select your new monitor. It's at 50% by default. I recommend cranking that up to about 60%. That'll make your colors look a little bit more rich and vivid without looking washed out or like Fortnite, where everything is just overly saturated. So hit apply. Now again, in my free time when I'm off camera, I am going to go through and mess with all the settings and whatnot, but just my initial impressions of this monitor, I would have to say, it does look pretty good. I will say the bezels around the outside when the monitor are incredibly large, or at least I would say about a 1/4 inch or so. Not on the bottom, but on the sides and the top, you have about a 1/4 inch bezel, which is unfortunate, but you really don't start seeing bezel-less or edgeless monitors until the flagship, until the high end. Then you start seeing monitors that literally have like just the tiniest little razor's edge and it's all screen. So that's relatively common, but it's just an eyesore in my opinion. Overall, build quality does feel pretty good. The plastics do feel a little bit cheap and chintzy and scratchy, but there was no creaks and moans and groans or anything when I was installing this bad boy. As you can see, it is displaying that I have 165 hertz engaged. FreeSync is blacked out, which means it is not turned on. Let's go ahead and turn that on now. Tilting the monitor towards you guys for a little bit better view. Gonna go ahead and kill the ring light. Cool, hopefully you guys can see a little better. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the face light as well. All right, so brightness out of the box is at 90, contrast 50, black equalizer 50. Preset, we are in user mode. Let's go ahead and scroll through them. There's standard, there's user mode, which is gonna be your custom, which I recommend you guys do use. Whenever you get a TV or a monitor, I recommend you go through and customize all your settings. I will have guides for the majority of the popular monitors and TVs on the market. You have movie over here. Nice, bright, vibrant. You have photo mode. RTS looks a little too color saturated for my flavor. And then you have FPS 1, FPS 2. So those are first person shooter modes, which I'm assuming, oh, that's cool. So this monitor has a built-in FPS counter that you can engage. So now that's in the top right corner. That's pretty cool. I actually think this is the first monitor I've ever owned that has a FPS monitor built in. That's actually really cool. They also have crosshair, which is very, very common. That's in virtually every gaming monitor I've ever tested. And basically puts we'll select this one here, a little crosshair dot in the middle of your screen here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me pull up. Nice little crosshair dot there. So if you like to hip fire a lot, you're playing a game like Escape from Tarkov that doesn't have an aiming reticle, you can use that, which can be kind of nice. Back in the day, what we used to do is take a little piece of tape and put that in the middle of your monitor. But now you don't have to do that anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the crosshair off. I don't really use it. I prefer to go off Jedi instincts only. It'll be interesting to see how that FPS counter correlates with like an in-game FPS counter as well. All right, there's your inputs, DisplayPort 1 and 2, which I do recommend you do use. That is 165 hertz. HDMI 2.0 is only gonna give you 144 hertz. All right, gaming setup over here, FreeSync Premium. Let's go ahead and turn that on. Monitor is gonna turn off for a moment as it engages FreeSync. So game overdrive and game assist for now, I'm going to be leaving all these off. I will be making a follow-up video in probably a week. So again, there is going to be a follow-up video and actual comprehensive review of this monitor. However, initial impressions are actually relatively good. I would say the blacks are quite inky for not being an HDR monitor. I would say the nits of brightness, it's actually peak brightness is actually pretty bright without being washed out, which is awesome. Colors look quite vibrant. I have been messing around with 120, 144, and the maximum of 165 hertz for the refresh rate, and I have noticed zero input lag. So obviously when I run some testing with some actual benchmark software programs running to look specifically for flaws in monitors, then I'll be able to pick up certain shortcomings and flaws. But just to the naked eye, you know, a normal gamer, a normie, if you will, you're not really going to see any input lag with this. And this monitor retails for, hot second here, guys. Patience is a virtue, as they say. So this is the monitor right here. Currently unavailable. We don't know when it'll be in stock. What the hell? I just bought this July 15th, and it is already August 11th. Holy crap. Time is like literally, the days are like melting together. It's kind of disgusting. So some of the key features here, this is 165 hertz, not 144 like a lot of the competitors. 32 inch, by the way, is the maximum size that you are going to see in a 16:9 wide ratio monitor. Obviously, there are gaming televisions that people repurpose as PC monitors and stuff, but as far as gaming monitors are concerned, 32 inches is the maximum until you get into ultra wide aspect ratios such as 21:9 or 32:9. It is 1440p, which I say all the time is the absolute sweet spot for a gaming monitor. 4K monitors are a huge jump in price, and not just the monitor itself, but then you need a PC that can reliably push a good decent frame rate at 4K. So, you know, 3080, 3090, etc. And also, I have to say 144 hertz, grand. Yes, I know this is 165, which is a nice little treat, but I've been saying for the longest time, and I still stand behind this sentiment, 1440p 144 hertz is the sweet spot for monitors as far as price to performance all day. I have yet to do a whole lot of hands-on with the FreeSync, V-Sync, or G-Sync of this monitor. Technically, this one just has FreeSync. It does say it's HDR as well. So far, it's only indicating SDR, standard dynamic range. I'll mess around with certain HDR programs to see if the monitor is recognized as an HDR display. I don't think it will be. It does have a slight curve in it. It's not a very aggressive bend or anything like that. It does offer a 178-degree viewing angle with that anti-glare screen. And the anti-glare screen is actually really good because I have a brightly lit room. I have a 3-light setup, you know, key light, fill light, hair light. And it really does. I don't see any reflection on this monitor, and I have had other monitors in the past where I could clear as day see like my other lights behind me. It was very annoying. So also, I think I said earlier, this is a VESA 75. My brain doesn't function well. It's a VESA 100 by 100. So it has 2 display ports, an HDMI port, a 3.5mm headphone port. It's flicker free, has a low blue light mode, includes a pretty nice stand, a display port cable, and power cable in the box. So it looks like I paid $309 for this monitor. I have to say, thus far, price for performance, it's definitely, had to clear my throat. Yeah, so definitely worth the $309. Thus far, picture wise, I like it a lot more than the $600 Samsung Odyssey G5 ultra wide that I just tested on the channel, which is, you know, pretty much double the price. Thus far, this is brighter. And the colors look a lot more rich and vibrant. And it's 16:9, not 21:9, so I don't have to deal with all the wonkiness of having an ultra-wide monitor trying to edit and stream and stuff like that. So that's the main reason that I went back to a standard wide monitor. That is going to do it, guys. I'm going to finish editing this video and try and get some sleep so I can continue making content for you guys. You know, it'll be a lot easier for me to grow this channel with consistent quality content when this is my primary focus and I don't have another job. I'm active duty military, in case you guys are new to the channel here. And You know, I generally average between 5 and 6 hours of sleep a night between finishing up getting my real estate license, being in the military, and then trying to grow a YouTube channel. I probably spend at least 40 to 60 hours a week on the YouTube channel, coming up with video ideas, recording, editing, optimizing videos with keywords and stuff, making sure I don't get copyright and DMCA strikes, promoting the videos on social media and stuff like that. Like, oh man, I'm not burnt out or anything. I still got a lot of wick left on this candle here, but geez, I am rather tired. I'm gonna try and get some sleep tonight. I'm not gonna take a break or anything. I would literally die before I stepped away from YouTube for a while. All right, that is gonna do it. That was ended on a serious note. Anyway, great monitor overall thus far. Really liking it. Indeed, is a quite nice monitor, especially for the price. You know, people say it all the time. It's kind of like a loaded compliment, like, oh, it's a good monitor for the price. I would go as far as to say this is a good monitor, period. Thus far, I mean, color, brightness, contrast, sharpness, everything looks a-okay in my book. It's a very short book with some pretty pictures in it, but yeah, it looks good. Again, comprehensive review, probably in about a week and a half after I've had time to mess with all the settings. Not only in my NVIDIA GPU control panel, but also on the monitor itself, and get this thing optimized for my gameplay style. I play primarily first-person shooters, so frame rate is going to be high priority. And we'll see how she do, boys. If you guys like the video, thumbs up. If you love the video, subscribe. If you hate the video, thumbs down. If you want to become a member of the Gamer Heaven, a Stallion or Stallionette in the stable, there's a join button down there. You're sick of being naked, go to the merch store, get yourself a shirt. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.